This found you because it is time for you to go all in. It is time for you to go for that thing that you have been dreaming of. It is time for you to finally believe that that very thing that you desire so deeply is meant for you. It is time for you to let go of opinions of other people or your current circumstances, even your limiting beliefs. It is time to let all of that go so that you can go all in on the life that you desire, on that very thing that you're pursuing. Because the truth is, a better time will never come. A better time will never come. Right now, you are waiting. You are waiting for the right moment. You're waiting for the right circumstances. You're waiting until things align in a certain way and you can finally take the action. But the truth is, you are missing out on opportunities as you are waiting. Ask yourself, what is one tiny action I can take today that will get me closer to my goal? What is one tiny action I can take tomorrow? What is one tiny action I can take the next day? Because so many times we are expecting from us to take huge, massive action steps every day. And that feels overwhelming. And then we don't do it. And then we are waiting until we feel ready to take this big, massive step, don't we? But have you ever heard of the compound effect? The compound effect is the effect where you take one small, tiny action every day, and all these actions start to compound on top of each other. And because they do, eventually you will wake up one day and you're gonna be like, how the hell did all of this happen? How the hell did I decide to make this work? How the hell did I make this work? Yes, you can take your massive action today. If you decide to go all in today, it can look two ways, and it's not really right or wrong, but it's about you deciding, okay, I get to go all in today. So what is one thing I can do today that will lead me closer to that very thing I desire? Where will you be 5 years from now if you decide to go all in today? Who will you be 5 years from now if you decide to go all in today? How will your life look like 5 years from now if you decide to go all in today? And you don't need anyone to go with you. You don't need to wait for other people to approve that you can finally take the action. If it's your family, if it's your friends, if it's your coworkers, you don't need them to tell you what's next. You don't need to wait for their approval to tell you what's next. It's so interesting because I have so many people who look at my life and they ask me, Jess, how did you get here? How did you create your own business? How did you move to a country that you love, living in a penthouse, and have all of these things that if you would have asked me 10 years ago, if I imagined I could live a life like this, I would have laughed at them. Because I remember there were moments, that was back then when I was in Barcelona, and I'm getting emotional as I'm speaking because I remember I had these big dreams, these big visions, and I had so little money that I remember for the first time someone got me onto a rooftop in Barcelona, and I was like, oh my God, is this how abundance looks like? Having a glass of wine on a rooftop in Barcelona, like this is what I want. Like I want to live this life. I want to be able to do it whenever I want to without caring about what other people think or without worrying if I have the money to do it. And I remember in that moment I said to myself, I know one day I'm going to have enough money to drink a glass of wine every night on this rooftop. And it is so funny because this is something that like so deeply is ingrained in me because it felt like this luxury I would never be able to reach. This luxury that was so far from what I thought I could live. All of this resulted, or all of these situations that I was having and the choices that I made and the action that I took got me to this point where it feels so far away but also so close, because I remember so many moments in my life where people in my life were questioning themselves. They didn't take the action. They weren't moving forward. They were waiting. I just went for it. I went for the crazy things. I moved out and moved to another country at a young age, and I did all of the things that like people would be like, this is insane, this is risky, this is that, this is this. And I did all of those things because I already knew I was all in on life. I was all in on life. I wasn't halfway in, one step in and one step out and waiting and hoping and being in a point where I'm like, one day, hopefully. I'm like, no, I'm all in on life. And if I'm all in on life, what does that mean for me? How am I going to show up? What am I going to do? What actions am I going to take despite the fear? You got to be able to go all in despite you being scared, despite not knowing what's going to be on the other side. The amount of times I was so scared. I was scared and I still did it. And that will build resilience within you. Because right now, the first step, the second step, the third step, the first 10 steps might feel like a lot. But trust me when I say that once you start taking step after step after step, you will start building resilience. And you will start building such a deep trust within yourself that you have yourself. Because right now, if you haven't taken a lot of risks yet in your life, or you haven't been able to step out of your comfort zone yet, you haven't built a lot of trust within yourself that you have yourself, and that whatever happens, you're gonna be fine. And the thing is, that trust is built by you taking those steps, by you taking those risks, by you getting out of your comfort zone, because then you prove to yourself that you are capable of doing it. You are capable of stepping outside of your comfort zone and doing things that scare you, because ultimately you're never alone. You not only have yourself, but you are supported by God, by the universe, by this higher power, really. When we allow ourselves to be held and be supported by this inexplicable sometimes energy that we can't see but we can feel, when we co-create and when we go all in and we trust that it's gonna work out, it will. And it might not at all look the way that you imagine it right now, because obviously 10 years ago, as I was dreaming about me being able to afford a glass of wine at a rooftop in Barcelona, being at a point where it's so normal now, obviously all of those 10 years didn't all go the way that I thought they would go. But I took those steps, I took the action steps, I grew while I was doing it, and that's another point. Because in order for you to get to where you want to go, you gotta be someone. That someone will not be built just by you imagining that version of yourself, but you got to be able to take the action, grow as you're taking the action, because there's going to be challenges, there's going to be situations that will be hard and heavy, but these situations will form you into the person that you are meant to be able to then have that very thing that you're striving for. Because so often we want that thing and we're not realizing that it's actually about who we are being to have that thing, to attract that thing. This is ultimately for you. For me to remind you that you don't need anything outside of you to go all in. You only need yourself. And it's not about taking huge, massive action. It can be if you feel ready, and you'll also never feel ready to do that. But it's about the compound effect of taking small action every day. And so ask yourself, if I started today, where would I be in 5 years from now? Where would I be in a year from now, in a week from now, in a month from now? You don't even have to go that far, but really ask yourself that question, because it will probably show you what you are actually capable of and what's possible for you. If you liked this video, please let me know down below if it was helpful for you. Comment, like, subscribe to the channel. It would mean a lot to me. Still growing and hoping to inspire many more people out there. So if it resonated with you, please let me know. Sending you so much love. Thank you so much for watching. And until the next time. Bye-bye.